One day you're going to wake up and not feel like it. Not feel strong, not feel inspired, not feel ready. That day is the most important day to show up. Because anyone can act when it's easy. Anyone can feel confident when things are going their way. Anyone can chase a goal when they're fired up and full of energy. But that's not where greatness is built. Greatness is built in the quiet, ordinary, unglamorous moments when no one is watching and you show up anyway. This letter is about discipline. Not the harsh kind, not punishment, not forced. Discipline, as I've come to understand it, is love. Love in action, love for your future, love for your purpose, love for the person you're becoming, even on the days you don't feel like it. There was a time in my life when I was completely burnt out. I was stretched thin between work, family, pressure, expectation. I was waking up every day with this heavy question: what is the point? And I'll be honest, there were days I didn't want to show up at all. Not for myself, not for others. But then something inside me just whispered, just do the next thing. Not the big thing, not the perfect thing, just the next thing. And that became my rhythm. I stopped waiting for motivation. I stopped needing to feel ready. I just started honoring my commitments. One small step at a time, and slowly something shifted. I started to trust myself again. My confidence didn't come from hyper energy. It came from integrity, from doing what I said I would do, even when it was boring, even when it was hard, even when no one clapped. That's what discipline does. It builds identity from the inside out. And I want you to have that, because the world will try to convince you that you need to feel like it to begin. But you don't. You just need to begin. And begin again. And begin again. Let me tell you something I wish I learned sooner. Every act of discipline is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. Not the big dramatic acts, not the overnight success or the loud declarations, but the quiet daily ones, the ones no one sees but you. When you get out of bed after hitting snooze, when you choose a healthy meal instead of the fast fix, and when you keep your word even when no one's checking. Those small moments, they shape your identity more than any speech, any goal, or any burst of motivation ever will. You see, motivation comes and goes. It's an emotion, like excitement, like fear, like doubt. But these emotions are like weather. They change, they pass. If you build your life around them, your progress will rise and fall like the tide. But discipline is something deeper. It's not driven by impulse, it's anchored by intention. And here's where it gets even more powerful. Every time you do the thing you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it, you build self-trust. And self-trust is everything. It's the foundation of confidence. It's what lets you walk into the unknown and still hold your head high. It's what tells you, even if this gets hard, I know I won't quit on myself. When you keep your word to yourself, even in small ways, you start to believe something new. I am the kind of person who shows up. I am the kind of person who finishes. I am the kind of person who doesn't fold under pressure. And over time, that becomes who you are. Not just something you do, something you embody. Now, here's something I want you to remember as siblings. There will be days when one of you is strong and the other is struggling. When someone wants to give up on a workout, the goal, the rhythm, that's your cue. That's the moment you lean in and say, come on, we said we'd do this. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up. Let's do this together just for today. Because sometimes discipline is borrowed. Sometimes when your own fire burns low, you light your candle from someone else's flame. And that's what you're here for each other. not to criticize, not to guilt, but to remind. Remind each other of who you are. Remind each other of what you're building. Remind each other of the life you want isn't built on feelings, it's built on consistency. That's why discipline matters. Because every time you show up for yourself, you strengthen your foundation. You become the kind of person who can carry more responsibility, more purpose, more impact. And more than anything, you become someone others can count on. And that's a beautiful way to live. Here are a few ways to practice this kind of discipline daily and consistently. One small promise a day. Choose one small action you'll do no matter what. Stretching, journaling, meditating, cleaning, walking, not because it's exciting, but because it reminds you, I can keep my word to myself. That's how you build inner strength, one kept promise at a time. Track effort, not emotion. Start asking different questions. Not, was I motivated today? But, did I do what I said I'd do? Not, did I feel good? But, rather, did I show up? Discipline isn't about the mood, it's about the movement. Practice it together. Discipline doesn't have to be lonely. Challenge each other. Let's both do 10 minutes of something productive. Let's build a streak. One thing a day for 30 days. You can hold each other accountable without judgment. You can inspire each other without pressure. You can say, hey, we're becoming something here. Let's not stop now. Speak to the future when it's hard. When you want to quit, when someone says, what's the point? Respond with this. Because we're not living for this moment, we're living for the future version of us, the one we're building every day. That version of you, the stronger, calmer, clearer version, already exists. You meet them by showing up again and again, especially on days it would be easier not to. Discipline is not glamorous. It doesn't always feel good, but it is sacred. It's the difference between life you drift through and life you build. It's the thread that weaves your character day by day. And more than that, discipline is a gift that you give the people around you. Because when you show up with consistency, you become someone others can lean on. Someone who doesn't disappear when things get hard. Someone who doesn't just chase the feeling, but honors the commitment. That's how trust is born. That's how peace is built. And that's how families become strong. When motivation fades, and it will, let discipline carry you. When excitement runs out, let commitment lead. When your brother or sister is struggling, remind them, we don't need to feel like it to keep going. We just need to decide. Decide to show up. Decide to love yourself enough to follow through. Decide to keep building brick by brick, even if no one notices yet. Because the person you're becoming is worth it. And you're not building alone. You're building together. With all my love, always, Dad.